The topic that we are going to do today is understanding quadrilaterals. Now, before going into the chapter, let us first discuss few of the points that are included in the chapter and you must understand before moving forward with the quadrilaterals. The first topic is curves. Now, a plane curve is a curve that lies in a single plane or a plane surface like a paper. Now, you can see all these are examples of the curve given in the slide. Now, you can see over here that here this curve is also showing that it is going to lie in a single plane or in a single surface of paper. You can consider this white portion shown to you as a paper and this plain paper is showing a curve on it. So this curve is known as the plane curve. Now you can see curves can be of two types, that is closed or open. Now what do you mean by a closed curve and an open curve is a closed curve has complete continuity in the curve. You can see it here, you can see it in this example as well and in the other two also. Now what is the meaning of a open curve? Now you can see this example over here. The first example is it is starting from this point and ending only up till here. That means there is gap in the continuity of the curve. Now consider the next example. Over here also this line is starting, bending to this side, again bending, another bend, and you see that it doesn't goes anywhere else. It is stopping over here. That means in this curve also there is gap in the continuity of the line. That means the curve is not getting closed. So you can say the curves that are not getting closed are the open curves. Understood? Now the next is polygons. As we have discussed in other chapters also, first of all I'll tell you what is the meaning of this word polygon. See, polygon is made up of two words in which poly is written separately and gons is written separately. Now you see, poly means many and gons means sides. So polygons, the word means to be many sides. A shape which has many sides are known as a polygon. Now how do we define it? It is a closed plane figure. Please may pay attention, it is a closed plane figure, means it will be continuous and without any breaks, right? And it is bounded by three or more straight lines. That means a polygon can have three or more than three straight lines, because we can see one thing. If you make any two straight lines, these are my two straight lines, I will not be able to make a closed shape with this. How many lines minimum do I need to make a closed figure? I need at least 3 lines. These are my 3 lines with which I will be able to make a closed figure. So that is why we say it is a closed plane figure bounded by 3 or more straight sides that meet in pairs in the same number of vertices. Now we'll stop here. What is meant by vertex? Vertex is the point where two or more sides meet. So if I ask you that how many vertices are there in this shape, you would see here are 3 vertices. I'll name them vertex A, vertex B and vertex C. Now you can see over here there are 3 vertices. Now if I ask you how many sides are there in this shape, you would see there are 3 number of sides. That means the number of sides are always equal to the number of vertices. That is what we meant to say over here. And they do not intersect each other at these vertices, and they are not going to intersect each other, means they are only meeting, both the sides are meeting at one point. They are not intersecting each other at any other point other than your vertex. So these are the polygons. Now next is parts of a polygon. We have discussed 2 things to make a polygon. The first part is that you need number of sides. How many number of sides minimum do you require? You need at least 3 sides to make a polygon. Without having 3 sides you cannot make a polygon. Now other thing that you require is your vertex or you would say in the plural form vertices, right? When there is only one vertex, that is named as vertex only, but if you have more than one vertex in a shape, you call them as your vertices. Now you can see over here that we have another part of the polygon. Now the another part of polygon is your diagonal. Now what are diagonals? See, I have taken up an example over here. My example says, now this is the shape, this is a polygon. Why is it a polygon? Because it is a closed shape. First of all, it is a closed figure, means there is no gap in the continuity. Second thing is that it has number of sides more than 3. Let us count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now this shape has 5 sides. There is no gap in continuity. How many vertices does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it has 5 sides and 5 vertices. Now we can check, is there anything else given in the figure? Yes, we have been seeing these dotted lines present in the figure. Now all these dotted lines are representing your diagonals. Now what are diagonals? Diagonals of a polygon is any segment that joins two non-consecutive vertices. Now what do you mean by non-consecutive vertices? Now first of all, I have drawn this polygon, right? In this polygon we can see there are two vertices adjacent to each other, right? And even if you consider C has B as adjacent and A also as adjacent. But what are the non-consecutive vertices? See, these are adjacent to each other, so we call A and C, B and C, also A and B, all these are consecutive. Now what do you mean by consecutive vertices? Consecutive vertices are the adjacent ones. Now see, in this example you can see that consider vertex U. For vertex U, Q and T are the adjacent ones. These are the adjacent vertices. So for U, T and Q are the consecutive vertices. Understood? Now for these, except these consecutive vertices, what are the non-consecutive vertices for U? Means those vertices which are not near U are R, S and that's it. These are the only two non-vertices. No other vertex possible for U, right? So what we have done, we have made a line segment S with S and with R named as RU and US. Now you can see these are the two line segments. These two line segments are joining two non-consecutive vertices. R and U are non-consecutive vertex. Similarly, S and U are non-consecutive vertex. Now let us check for T. For T, what are the two non-consecutive vertices available? Q and R. Why? Because T is very near and very adjacent with vertex S. Also, T is very much adjacent with vertex U. So we can say that U and S are consecutive vertices for T. So what do we have? Now we have only R and Q as the non-consecutive vertex for the vertex T. Now we can draw a line segment joining non-consecutive vertices, that is R and T and Q and T, right? We have got our two diagonals. Now let's talk about the S vertex. For S vertex also we can see R and T as the consecutive vertices. Why are they consecutive? Because they are adjacent to the vertex S. It is very near. Just next to S is R, just next to S is T. So these are my adjacent vertices. Now what about the non-consecutive vertices? Q and U are the non-consecutive vertices for S. So we join S and Q and U, S and U. These are the two diagonals from S. Similarly, let us consider R. Here in R, for R we can say that S and Q both are the consecutive vertices, that is they are just next to R. These are the adjacent ones, so we will not consider them. We are going to consider the opposite ones, or you can say the non-consecutive ones. Non-consecutive means non-adjacent. Now for R you can see that T and U are the two non-adjacent ones, that is these are the two non-consecutive vertices for our vertex R. So the line segment joining R and T and line segment joining R and U are the two segments, right, that are joining two non-consecutive vertices. Similarly, check for Q. For Q, R and U are the adjacent vertices, or you can say the consecutive vertices. Now, what are the non-consecutive vertices for Q? They will be S and T. Now, we have joined Q and S and Q and T to make a line segment joining two non-consecutive vertices. Now, in this way, how many diagonals have we formed? Just check 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the last one is 5. Now I am going to name them so that you don't confuse in that. I am going to name the diagonals. Diagonal SQ, diagonal SU, right? Now diagonal RT, diagonal QT. Is there any other diagonal left? You can move to the other point over here. You can check US. SU and US both will be the same one. So I have already mentioned it, right? Next one. Next is UR. Now UR is not included till now. So we will include this also. UR. Now let us check for the other ones. QT. QT is already included, right? Next we have QS, that is also included, right? That is already equal to SQ. Now, is there any other diagonal possible? You can check. You write it either QS or SQ. Both will be the same, right? Because a line can be named both ways. Now, so that is why I say how many diagonals does this polygon have? These are 5 in numbers. Clear? Now the next that I have written is diagonals of a polygon can be found with the formula given below. Now this is the formula given for the number of diagonals you can find out for any polygon. Now I am going to do it over here. Let's say you have a diagonal, you have number of sides given to you, right? I am mentioning the number of sides here and I am writing the diagonals on the other side. Let us check for diagonal for a shape that has a 4-side shape, 4 sides. Now you can check that if a shape has a 4 sides, that is this way, I am making any 4-sided figure, it could be anything. Now for 4 sides, how many diagonals are possible? We are going to apply this formula. In this formula we can see we have written n square minus 3n whole divided by 2. Now here n stands for number of sides. Now you can check, we already have number of sides decided, that is 4. So what are we going to do? We are going to put the formula n square minus 3n whole divided by 2. Now if you put the value of n as 4, 4 square minus 3 and 3 into n means 3 into 4 whole upon 2. What do we get? What is this 4 square? 4 square means 4 into 4 minus what is 3 into 4 as it is, and you write the denominator. Now 4 into 4 is 16 minus 3 4s are 12 whole divided by 2. That solves to 4 divided by 2, and if you cancel this out, how do you cancel this out? You cut it with 2, 2 1s are 2 and 2 2s are 4. So 2 upon 1, or if you divide 2 with 1, what do you get? You get it as 2. That means if you have a 4-sided shape, you would get 2 diagonals. That means there are only 2 diagonals possible in this case. That is done. Now let us try for any 5-sided shape. Now I am drawing a 5-sided figure. This one. Let us check 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now this shape is having 5 sides. Now for 5 sides, how many diagonals are possible? For 5 sides it would be the same. We will check it with the formula later on, but let us first try and draw it. Okay, let us start naming it. A, B, C, D and E. Now, what are the non-consecutive vertices for this? It is C and D only, because for A, B and E are consecutive ones. So, we will join AC and we will join AD. Done? Now, the next is for E. Now, from E, what are the two non-consecutive vertices possible? From E, the two non-consecutive vertices possible are C and from B. Done? Now, is there any other vertex possible? We have done from A, we have done from E, let us think from D now. Now, from D, we have to check the two non-consecutive vertices. From D, we can check that one vertex is A and the other one will be B, because C and E are adjacent for D. So, now we will join B with D, and you can see over here, please pay attention, you can see that D is already joined to A, right? So, we do not need to make another line segment for this. This is good enough. Now, let us check for C. From C, what are the two non-consecutive ones? A and E. These are the two non-consecutive vertices. So, we join C with A and C with E. That has already been done. Now, let us check for B. For B, D and E are the two non-consecutive ones. Why? Because A and C are already adjacent to the same. So, what we do? We join B with D and B with E. Since it is already being done, we are not going to join it. Now, you can check how many diagonals have you made. Now, I am going to write the name of diagonals. CE, CA, right? Next, from D you can check DB and DA. Now, you can check from E, CE and BE. CE is already being done, so I'll only write BE. Or let us write both CE and BE. From A we can write AC and AD. Now, the last one, from here we can check BD and BE. So, I'll write BD and BE. Now, you can check that these are same. These are getting repeated. AC and CA are also same. BD and DB are also same. Right? So, we write only the non-common ones. CE, CA, DB, DA and AD and DA were also same. Is there any other left? CE is done, CA is done, DB is done, DA is done. CE is included, BE is the left one. So, we have written BE. AC is also included because it is equal to CA only. So, I have ticked this also. AD is also done because DA is included as AD only. Now, the last one that we have are BD and BE. So, over here BD is already equivalent to DB, and what are we the left one, that is BE. BE is included. So, how many diagonals are possible in a 5-sided shape? There are 5 diagonals possible in a 5-sided shape. Now, let us check this with the formula n square minus 3n divided by 2. Now, what we do is, we will take number of sides to be as 5 because the shape had 5 number of sides. 5 square minus 3 into 5 whole upon 2. Now, 5 square is already equal to 5 into 5 minus 3 into 5 whole divided with 2. What do we get? 5 5s are becomes 25 minus 3 5s are becomes 15 divided by 2. What do you get? 25 minus 15 gives you 10 divided by